Hello everybody, I am the Zero Man and welcome to the very first episode of Countdown to Zero. The game in the background is Deus Ex Human Revolution. So, I'm going to explain to you how the format's going to work from here on out. Countdown to Zero is going to be about PC games, both current and retro. Everything from the original Baldur's Gate, up to like Rome Total War, up to current games like The Witcher 2 and Deus Ex. So I thought if I'm going to start off, I'm going to start off with a very good game that I've never had time to go out and play. So, Deus Ex Human Revolution was released April 2012 by Square Enix, the makers of Kingdom Hearts and the entire Final Fantasy series. Now, it's classed as a stealth action RPG because you could both play through the game stealthy, or you could play through the game guns blazing like Rambo. But it also has the customizable perks. You can choose whether to go in combat, whether to go into stealth, whether to go into hacking. It's all your choice. You can choose your gear, you could upgrade it accordingly. It takes place in a dystopian future which is about 2027, so not too far into the future, where enhanced human cyborgs, for a better word, are becoming addicted to an expensive drug where corporate espionage is rampant, and essentially it's the entire idea of a steampunk future. Now, our main hero's name is Adam Jensen. Adam Jensen was originally a police officer and then an ex-SWAT member who got drafted up by Seraph Industries to serve as security detail. Now, if you haven't seen the beginning prologue, then you probably shouldn't listen to this because it will spoil you a little bit. But essentially, Biotic Commandos break into Seraph Industries. Adam goes down to confront them. He gets his butt handed to him and has to get completely rebuilt from the ground up with Seraph Industries' highest technology equipment. Now, the rest of the game, the RPG parts, are in fact, you already have all the augments that can be unlocked, but you have to have Praxis, which is essentially an upgrade point, in order to unlock more upgrades, because your body could not handle all of the upgrades being active at once. So, kind of a roundabout way to an old school idea of upgrading. So, also with this countdown to zero, is I explain the top 3 things I like about the game, and the top 3 things I don't like about the game. So, considering how good this game is, I think I should probably go with the top 3 first and explain in detail. Now, like I said, it is a stealth action RPG, which is one of the things I like. You could choose to kill an enemy, you could choose to knock them out, you could choose to completely avoid them, or you could choose to outsmart them. Now, killing them, you could just run in like Rambo, shoot them in the face, just blow them up, grenades, the usual stuff you see in pretty much any first-person shooter. Now, knocking them out, if you have the energy, you could go up and melee them in a special move and send them throwing to the ground. They're unconscious, you get a little bit extra benefit and experience. You can also do this with a stun gun, as long as you have ammo and you're in the correct range, and with a tranquilizer dart, which is a little like the sniper rifle, but, of course, unconscious, not dead. Now, you can also avoid enemies, which generally isn't a wise idea, but you can get Explorer bonus for it. You could use ventilation shafts, you could go across ceilings on girders, you could even use boxes and cover to sneak around them. So, it's quite interesting that you could avoid all the enemies in the game, but you can also outsmart them. Now, what I mean about outsmart is that you could go hack a computer, tell that computer to disable either cameras or to activate turrets, and you could turn the enemy's turrets against them and use the turrets to kill every enemy in a room, and they'd never be the wiser. So I find it very intriguing that this game gives you so much choice on how to tackle a situation. Now, my next favorite thing about the game is that the story carries believable tension. Now, most games, it's just like, oh, get from point A to point B. This game gives you espionage, it gives you betrayals, it gives you reasons and motives, and pushes you forward at a believable pace. Now, there are some contrived areas, there are some areas that are doled down just so they could be gamer-ish. But for the most part, the story continues forward. Every area has a unique set of circumstances, and has unique enemies, has unique reasons for being there. And it's just one of the better stories I've actually seen in the last few years. Now, what some people might not see on consoles, but actually see on the PC version of the game, is the beautiful scenery and attention to detail. Now, if you look out across the landscape, you see a highly detailed, beautiful cityscape. But if you go down to the tiny detail, like posters, like books, like even the copy machines, you'll see that there's very high attention to detail, very highly textured game, even down to Adam Jensen himself. He looks like the epitome of all cyborg, steampunkish characters. The fact that they've got that much attention to detail is astounding for how well the game runs on non-exactly high-end cards. And now, sadly, I have to get to the point where I talk bad about the game, and I don't really want to, but there are a few things that bug me, as there are in every game, because no game is perfect. So forgive me if you think I'm insulting it. I'm really not. I'm just finding faults in a game that does have faults. So, the first one might just be personal preference, but every character looks like it's been too much anime-fied, kind of, is the best way I can explain it. And I think this has to do with it being made by Square Enix. The only character who doesn't look like an anime is Adam Jensen. Adam Jensen looks like he's an actual realistic human. But if you look like people at Pritchard and just Seraph, and some of the regular schmoes and like enemies in the game, they look like they're animes. They look like you could literally take them and put them in Final Fantasy and they'd be fine. And I know that's personal preference and that's personal bias, but it just bothers me that they don't look realistic, that they look like these anime characters. But, like I said, personal preference. Now, here's one of my bigger gripes with the game. The fact that it gives you so much choice. So much choice in how to tackle a situation, but every boss fight boils down to shoot. Every boss fight. Like, you tackle boss fights multiple ways, but there's no way to avoid them other than shooting. You must kill the boss. Simple as that. How you kill the boss is up to you, but you must kill the boss. There's no way to knock him unconscious and get info off of him. There's no way to persuade him away. There's no way to buy him off. There's no way to do anything but kill him. And I think that's a very missed opportunity because it just feels boring in an otherwise very exciting game. In a game that gives you so much choice, they take the choice away for you and just tell you, kill this boss. But overall, it's a minor gripe, because bosses are few and far between, always at the end of a chapter. Now, possibly my biggest gripe is the lack of any lasting choice up to the game's ending. And what I mean by this is, no matter what you do, no matter what you choose, no matter who you save, who you kill, if you're a good guy, bad guy, in between, no matter what, the game will eventually lead up to a press 4 buttons. The buttons being that you could either blow up the final level, you can make everybody enhanced and let Seraph sell to everyone, you could let Illuminati control the world and everybody's none the wiser, or you could destroy all biotechnological chips. Now, honestly, I would have rather made my choices about these topics through the game, gone up to the end, and the end plays out based on my choices, rather than, hey, get up to the end, and hey, you could do a complete 180 in your personality. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I think it's stupid. I didn't like it. I don't like it in the Mass Effect games, especially not Mass Effect 3. And I don't like it here. It's a stupid design choice. It's poorly made. It's poorly thought out. And it takes all the power away from everything the character's done up to this point. And it completely breaks the immersion. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I want developers to stop doing it. I understand there are limitations to the games, but if BioWare can do it, then everyone else can. There's no excuse. So, overall, despite that ending rant, it's a beautiful game. It's fluid, it's fast-paced, it's worthy of the original Deus Ex. If you have not played the original Deus Ex, I would suggest you go back and play this game. I suggest you also go out, pick up Deus Ex Human Revolution, as well as the Icarus DLC, because the Icarus DLC is just as good with the story, just as good with the gameplay, just as good situationally as the main game is. It's a ton of fun, and it's just as good as the game is. It's not really that expensive, and it actually adds a little bit of story that's relevant to the game. So, all in all, good game. Hopefully I can get more time to play it in the future. And I hope a couple of you guys go out, pick it up, if you have not already picked it up already. So, this has been the Zero Man. And until next time on Countdown to Zero, goodbye everybody.
Richard, I'm in. The door worked just fine.
I'm happy for you. The Typhoon is in the factoring labs. There's an elevator just past the assembly labs that will take you to it.
Got it.